Hi, and welcome into Destination Dynasty. I'm Rob Masse. Thanks for joining us tonight. The RWA, the road to Dynasty, and the growth of the Renegade Wrestling Alliance. That is the subject of this evening's Bow Ties and Body Slams. I've been here since September of 2012, and in that time I've seen the Renegade Wrestling Alliance grow by leaps and bounds. Cosmetically, the RWA found a building in the Chop Shop, was able to build its own house set, invite people in to see every one of their RWA hype shows. They've been able to sell out not one, but two different buildings that promoters around the state of Rhode Island have said were absolutely impossible to sell out, only to have the RWA go in on some of the hottest days of the year and pack 300 people into the building. They have sent two of their biggest names into the independent promotions, whether it be the investment Antonio Atama, who is now making strides in the independent scene with the XWA and across the East Coast, or if it's the Juice JT Dunn, who has not only been a star on the East Coast, but is now a nationwide superstar looking to make the leap to the three-letter network in Stamford, Connecticut. The question is how far is the RWA going to go? In the last 6 months, they've partnered with Beyond Wrestling and have partnered with a new group called Next Level Grappling and Entertainment with a talent exchange. Next Level Grappling and Entertainment, a group that was started by an RWA original, J.P. Hansen, as almost a startup, just like to what the RWA was about 7 years ago when they were on Atlantic Boulevard in North Providence. Going into Dynasty, you wonder what the RWA is going to do, and what does Dynasty mean as the road to legacy starts at Dynasty? Well, for the wrestlers, it's another day for them to shine in one of their biggest shows of the springtime. And for the RWA, it's time to take another step up into making the state of Rhode Island not a cesspool, as it has been often referred to for pro wrestling, but a place for wrestlers around the country and around the world to flock to entertain the professional wrestling fans around the state of Rhode Island and New England. And that is Bow Ties and Body Slams. Here with reaction are the aforementioned owners and operators of both the RWA and Next Level Grappling Entertainment, T. Phoenix and J.P. Hansen. Gentlemen, thank you for joining me here this afternoon.
Well, thank you for having us.
Sir, it's a pleasure.
T, I'm going to start with you. Where am I going wrong with my assessment of the RWA in the last year and a half with how they've grown? Is there anything that I've missed, or am I just seeing things and trying to put the RWA on a pedestal that is a little bit too high?
I would trust an outside perspective like yours. I know you're heavily invested in both Next Level and RWA, but I'm still very much in that bubble, and I think your outside perspective pretty much sums it up. And I don't know if I would be the best person to ask at times. Truth be told, from day one, I never really had a set plan on where we were going to be, and I think it's up to public perspective, such as you or anybody else that comes in here to the Chop Shop or to one of our live shows. I leave it up to you guys to judge our weight and our ability.
Now, you both started the RWA just over 7 years ago on Atlantic Boulevard in North Providence, as I've been corrected. And Jimmy, with Next Level, you kind of want to start where RWA started, which is basically a group of guys that are looking to break into the business and learn about professional wrestling. And you have not only a lot of crafty veterans in Next Level, but you have a lot of guys who are rather green that just want to come in and have a good time and try to make that next leap.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yes. That's pretty much the whole basis on what Next Level is founded on, is the atmosphere that the original RWA was built on. A bunch of guys getting together, having fun, and you never quite know what's going to happen. That was a big selling point with RWA when RWA was first started, as far as I was concerned, is you didn't know who was going to show up, you didn't know what was going to happen, and I think that kind of keeps people on their toes. Even me being the owner and operator of Next Level, it keeps me on my toes because I don't quite know what's going to happen.
Well, and you kept that theme at the Thanksgiving Throwdown. I mean, we're ready to close the show, and all of a sudden, here you come after a hiatus from RWA for a long time, and you thrust Next Level Grappling Entertainment right into the RWA spotlight. And since then, I mean, the talent exchange has seemed to work for both companies very well.
I mean, I would say that the talent exchange has worked out well for both companies. Yes, my whole goal with coming in at Thanksgiving Throwdown was being heard. I was an angry man. Not that much has changed, but I was much angrier then than I am now. I've kind of softened my stance a little bit about how I feel about things. And I mean, I'm just, I'm here to have fun. And that's what it's all about. For me, it's all about fun. Fun. F-U-N. Fun. Thank you.
You're welcome. T, going into Dynasty, I mean, aside from being a wrestler, which you do have a match with your tag team partner, Tom Billington, as an owner and as the one of the bookers for RWA, what is it like to prepare for such a show? I mean, people really don't see what it takes to put on something, even at the Chop Shop. What does it take to put on a big show like Dynasty at, in this case, a new building, the Rec Center, but at the Varnum, Armory, or at the Elks Lodge, or at one point I believe it was in West Warwick at the Civic Center.
No, that wasn't. It was Thayer Arena.
The Thayer Arena, excuse me.
What does it take? I mean, you have a notepad and a pen, and we could go from the very beginning down the list. I mean, getting 25, 30 people all on the same page. Phone calls, emails, now with Facebook, even some. Chris Pyro, great example, has a different phone number every week and doesn't have Facebook. So I have to track him down on Twitter or, maybe smoke signals. Just that alone, getting everybody on the same page, their availability, making sure everybody knows what time to show up. Not everybody is very, I'm throwing people under the bus, but they're not all very detail-oriented. They text me the day of the show. I'll call out Nick Marchand. It was the day of, I think, maybe Christmas Chaos or Thanksgiving Throwdown. What time's the show start? Things that make me want to pull my hair out. And then, we've always been on top of our production and a great production value, thanks to Christian SG. Before the footage can even get to him, I got to make sure, our cameras are in place, quality people running the equipment. We utilize this TV screen now here. We used projection screen at Legacy and other shows. All the little music videos are made by me, so that's countless hours of cutting up clips and finding what clip, and just me being the perfectionist that I am, trying to get, if there's a part in the song that you being musically inclined, you could help me out here. It just syncing the move to a particular point in the song so it's more impactful. I don't know if you could put that in better terms.
Yeah, it's not really better terms. You want to get the perfect blend of the drum hit with the move that coincides with that drum hit.
There you go.
Or bass line or keyboard strike. I'm just using my themes
that's
as an example, but the 976 themes that I have, it's
Made them all work.
Thank you. People don't understand the amount of work that T actually does behind the scenes. It's not just coming here and running the show for him. That's a very, very small piece of it, and that's probably the less time-consuming piece that it actually is. The amount of time that he spends making videos is insane, and no one else around here is doing that. And that's one of the things that separates the RWA from from all these other promotions is the video quality, the video editing, the setup. I mean, all this stuff takes time. This is not something that it was developed in Rome wasn't built in a day. This is developed over 7 years of tinkering and trying this and not doing this and different colors of ring ropes, and I mean, you can't imagine how much has gone into it. You can't. People don't understand how much has really gone into making this happen.
And knowing this with Next Level, you just want to start with having basically the cutout of what an independent promotion should look like,
JT Dunn, in his victory speech winning the Triple Crown Championship, referred to this as independent wrestling. And I know a lot of people may not realize this, and E.F. Stevenson, among others, I don't know if they think I sold out or changed my thought process, but RWA was never meant to be independent wrestling. It may be we are an independent group by definition, but the word Renegade is in the RWA, the letters, for a reason. We're supposed to be unlike everybody else on the independents, and I refuse to be known as an independent company.
I understand.
I want to just set that record.
And that's fine. I was trying to differentiate from the mothership in Connecticut and that other promotion down in Florida. But okay, so you see what a layout should be like with the RWA and what they've done, and you want to take the baby steps with Next Level. How do you get your workers at Next Level to really see that message when they come in for their own shows or when they come to an RWA show, whether it be at Hype or Dynasty or any other big show that the RWA puts on in this cross promotion?
I think the best way to describe it is either you buy into the vision or you die with the vision. It's one way. It's very cut and dry. Either you believe in what Next Level is trying to do or you don't. Some people understand what I'm trying to do. Some people don't, and that's fine. I'm not asking everyone to understand what I'm trying to do. We have a very different product from RWA. It's very different. It's not the same, even a little bit. But I mean, T has certainly set and the T and the RWA has certainly set the benchmark for what a company should be when it's all said and done. Now, I was there since day one in a pink basement.
Half of it was pink, half of it was red.
I'm sorry, half of it was pink, half of it was red.
My half was red.
He's gonna. It's okay. And it all started there. Not to get too much into it, but T and I, it was a chance meeting. I requested him on MySpace. How archaic is that? And he basically told me he's not really accepting any other friends. He has too many friends. That's pretty much how this whole thing got started.
I think I have to dust off the MySpace account and look back because I think that's a lie.
No. No. It was pretty much one of those things where we had a mutual friend, and we're kind of introduced, and then it kind of just went a little bonkers from there, and things happened so fast. Like looking back on it, I'm like, I can't believe it's been 7 years. But look at what T has created in 7 years. It's a work of art. It's not, and that's another thing that people don't get. T is an artist. He might not call himself that, but he's an artist. It takes a lot to paint the picture that he's trying to portray, and getting people on the same page, the set up, the videos. You're an artist. It's not normal person's work. Somebody would try to do this for an hour and they'd be like, no, thank you. I'm good. And, look at what it's become,
Now, speaking of Dynasty, you both have matches at Dynasty, and Jimmy, I'll start with you. You're going to be taking on Nick Marchand one-on-one. You and Marchand are not fans of each other. He thinks that you threw at him when you guys had that batting practice incident.
It slipped.
I know. It's the KY ball.
Sweaty palm.
Came right out of your hand with the bullfrog sunscreen and everything.
Right.
But, you feel that Nick Marchand's disrespected you a little bit when he came out there and not only insulted baseball, but basically got in the face of a vet and while you were trying to do something, and you kind of plunked him and he didn't like that, and then he charged at you.
Things happen. I'm a man enough to be responsible for my actions. I don't think that Nick Marchand is necessarily disrespectful. I think he's a little misguided at times. Maybe his haircut was affecting his his brain usage. It's completely possible. Everything's completely possible with him. I remember Nick Marchand when he was just starting out, and Nick Marchand's a hell of a wrestler. I mean, some of his choices that he's made in his wrestling career, I wouldn't do.
Do you mean girlfriends or?
Well, yeah, that too. That's been an absolute train wreck, not of the Tommy variety. But the fact of the matter is that Nick Marchand is a hell of an athlete. He is the carrier of the quote unquote Money in the Bank purse, which makes me a little uncomfortable, but I'm okay with that. I think that it is going to be a very, very interesting match, and I'm not a veteran guy. I don't consider myself a veteran guy. I'm just a guy, I'm a guy who can wrestle, a little. I'm not very good, but I can wrestle a little, and I think that I'll try my best to put a young lion essentially in Nick Marchand. I'll try to take him to task, and you may see some of the old tricks come out. I've been known to have some old tricks, and it's just going to be if Marchand can withstand the trickery.
And T, with you and Tom Billington as the Killer T's will be taking on the Abruzzi brothers. I know that you and Jimmy have sort of buried the hatchet as how things kind of came in when it.
Agree to disagree.
When he came in at Thanksgiving Throwdown, but Cipriano and Vincenzo both very disgruntled with their exodus from RWA, and you and Tom have had a little bit of fun at their expense, and coming into this match at Dynasty. I've said it on numerous occasions. I think that some lucky RWA fan is going to be going home with some chiclets with you two meeting up in the ring.
Well, if last night was any indication, with both of us having one-on-one matches, myself with Cipriano and Tom with Vincenzo, there may be some lucky fans that may get some chiclets, or I may knock Cipriano's head loose right off of his shoulders. It's entirely possible. I damn near did it last night with a super kick.
It's not something he's not used to feeling. I mean, he does have your boot imprint because he was a tag team partner of yours.
Hey. Yeah, so was I. Yeah, you got nothing to say about that.
It was best for business.
Okay, that's excellent. So screw me, pretty much what that means. I hope that the Killer T's absolutely destroy the Abruzzi brothers. I have no shame in saying that they are the. I hate saying this, but they are like the Antichrist to me. They are mean-spirited, large gentlemen, and it just so happens that T is larger than them, and so is Tom's. Posterior is larger than both of them. So I'm hoping that the Killer T's are able to overcome the odds against angry gentlemen and have some fun with
You make a good point. Overcome the odds, and as we've seen, it becomes very much a handicap type scenario with Abby Knox on the apron or just at ringside.
Don't even get me started.
Don't even get you started. As you saw last night, Rob, she got involved just one too many times, and I laid a little smooch on her, which is why I was late. I was getting my tetanus shot.
There was nothing little about that smooch. Zero.
She wanted the tea.
Wow. All right.
But yeah, I expect it to be very hard-hitting, and may the best man win. Best men win.
It would be men, yes.
Men. Well, Tom... May the best team win. We'll go with that.
All right. Well, gentlemen, both of you have matches at Dynasty. Good luck to both teams. Well, to both of you, to your team, and to you there, JP Hansen.
I didn't make a team.
I know you didn't make a team yet.
No, I didn't make a team.
Well, the number of gimmicks you have in your head, you could be your own tag team.
You could be your own spirit squad.
You could be. And that'd be awesome.
Heenan family? Is that better? Is that a better reference? Dangerous Alliance. Your own horseman?
Well, that would be interesting. I would be
if you were
just
your
a horse.
own horseman, I I would have to say Long Ball Jimmy would be Mongo McMichael.
Oh yeah, that would probably work out. Unfortunately for Long Ball Jimmy, and I'm speaking about him in the third person, for some odd reason I feel like The Rock without the talent. But the fact of the matter is that the RWA is where it's at. For anyone watching professional wrestling, if you're not watching the RWA, you're doing something wrong. The amount of guys with talent here is just insane. It literally is. Young guys, Jason Devine, Montero. You got a guy like Pyro, Davey Cash. I mean, love him or hate him, these are the guys who are making their bones. And I mean, not to mention, the guys who are out there. Frank the Crank, Jam and Jack, Mike Grassa, and of course, our pro wrestling savior, JT Dunn. So, really, if you don't watch it, you're doing something wrong. Okay, that's what I have to say to you. Thank you.
That's a good way to end it. Well, coming up next, we will go beyond the mat, and one of the names that was not mentioned, actually usually never seen, is the referee. The senior official, Steve Moshe, will be joining me here to talk about what it's like to be a referee in professional wrestling. No, it's not true that they can be knocked down with a gentle breeze. We'll be right back with more Destination Dynasty right after this. Beyond the Mat segment here tonight. If you thought being a commentator sitting at ringside was a hazardous job, well, being a referee in the professional wrestling business is probably one of the most dangerous jobs you can have. And it is also one of the most fun. Joining me now is the senior official for the Renegade Wrestling Alliance, Steve Moshe. Steve, thank you for coming in here tonight.
Oh, you're quite welcome. A pleasure.
Now, I have to say that, I have seen wrestlers whether as a ring announcer or as a commentator, get a really big pop, but I have never seen a referee with such a cult following as you have, whether it's myself or Lucy. Whenever we say, the referee of this match is Steve Moshe, you get sometimes a bigger applause than some of the guys wrestling in the match. What is that like being, the center of attention but being invisible at the same time?
Well, that is quite the way to put it, because, that's kind of how I see it. The referee is second to the wrestlers in the performance in the ring. It's flattering. I also kind of find it to be a little, not, for lack of a better word, just something you don't really want to feed into too much. You're not the star of the show. You're the supporting cast. Even though you might be in the ring for more time than some of the other wrestlers, and more times I actually am. 3-4 matches versus one for everybody. You just want to make sure that if the crowd's into it, go with whatever the crowd's into. So I appreciate the applause, the nods, but when it comes down to it, it's about the wrestling, it's about the action, and it's about the fan favorites and the heels working the crowd.
Now, getting into a match, whether it be a main event or opening card, is there anything that you do specifically before a show to kind of prepare? Because I know that when you show up, that all of the assignments are given out, and you see, who you're working with and what matches you're calling. Is there anything that you and the other referees do to prepare, or you and yourself, because you've been here a while, anything that you do to prepare to get into a big match?
Well, I've been here for 5 years now. It will be over the summer. It's been different all along the road. At first, if you really want to go back, it was off the seat of your pants. Just go with it and go with your experience. And being a wrestling fan for years, there's no handbook for refereeing, at least not here for the RWA. I can't say that I wrote the handbook myself, but I developed my own style of refereeing without anything besides training from other wrestlers in the ring at the time or throughout, or just whatever they complimented me on and said that was good, I just kept with it and kept going. As far as the matches are concerned, sometimes we get together and we set up the matches and who's going to referee which one. It helps to prepare by kind of stepping the matches apart a couple of steps, so that way you're not overtired. You want to make sure that you're conditioned as the wrestlers, which is a tough thing to do, especially when you need to keep up with everybody. So making sure that each referee has enough time to take a little break, collect themselves, get ready for the match. The main events, all the matches, just to prepare for that it's really just a feeling. You just have to go with the flow from the first couple minutes of the match. There's no real way to prepare for something that when you don't know what's going to happen.
Now, 9 times out of 10, when you are refereeing a match, you are the smallest person in that ring. What is it like to hold so much authority and to have to, assert your authority to some of the pretty bad dudes that we have in the RWA? And at times you are not shy about getting physical and pulling somebody off of a wrestler when needed.
When duty calls, you got to answer. It's as simple as what you said. It's intimidating. I'm not going to lie. It's intimidating, but I have a job to do. Someone has to keep control. Someone has to do it. So whether you're 5'7" and 125 pounds, or you're 6'4" and 250, I still have to do the job either way. And it's an intimidating factor, but I'm not afraid to get in there. You develop a sense of that as you progress, where you're a little less intimidated as you go. Get a little more used to it.
Now, do you go back and watch the matches that you officiate and look for things? I know that I've known officials in other sports to go back and try to watch things that they've been a part of. I know I watch the matches that I do when I call and try to pick out little things. The wrestlers do the same thing. Are you overly critical on yourself when you referee a match? Or if you know a match that you're like, I kicked something and I should have been on top of something more?
Because I am overly critical, I tend not to watch them at all. I watch some matches. I try not to watch myself, but then I do. And you just try to take yourself out of it and be very objective. And sometimes I'm like, wow, look what that referee did. Like, that's good. And I'm like, oh, that was me. I'm going to keep up with that. Or there are times where I say, they kind of pulled a fast one on me, and I could have been around the other side. And maybe I'll position myself differently in the future. So most times I don't get around to watching all the matches that I've refereed, but you have to. You have to watch at least something if you want to better yourself in some way.
Now, going into Dynasty, this will be probably my 6th or 7th big show that I've done with you as the senior official and, having the main event. I can honestly say I've never stood in the ring getting ready to introduce a main event and looked at you and see you as anything other than, calm, cool, and collected. That being said, on the inside, are you kind of going out of your mind with nerves being in front of sellout crowds, whether we're in the Armory or the Elks Lodge, or in this case it's going to be East Providence Rec Center, calling a match for the biggest prize in our company?
Oh yeah, at Thayer Arena, from the Chop Shop, it doesn't matter. You get those butterflies. You have to go with it. There's no turning back. It's once I walk through the curtain, just like one of the wrestlers, it's like it's showtime. It's time to go. You got to bottle that up. You got to transfer that energy out into a positive way, and maintain a semblance of being cool, calm, and collective. Because that's not the way it is. When there are 1,000 people and everyone's watching, and criticizing, telling you that was 3 when it was 2, no matter what, they're gonna get on you.
Now, do you have a chance to be a fan? Do you have a favorite match that you've called or that you've witnessed in the RWA in the last 5 years? Do you get excited to see certain people just wrestle when you're not refereeing?
I do. I would like to be a fan sometimes more often, and then there are times where I wish I could just referee every match on the card, and you get jealous of some of the other matches sometimes. You don't think that you would, but they're like, wow, that would have been a lot of fun to be out there. Or I wonder if I could have kept up with that and been on top of all the counts and everything. Some of the bad guys in the RWA are as tough as they are to deal with. It is a lot of fun. It gets to be on the annoying side from some of them. I'm sure you can understand some of that. Dante gets up in your face all the time. Back to matches that I've witnessed and loved. The New York Minute match stands out in my mind. It was a ladder match type style. Matches like that. Matches that are smart. In the international title era, there were some good matches. Jason Devine and Hansen, I remember them way back at the Bump Factory. It's a lot of intensity. It's a lot of the matches that end up being superior are the ones that weren't overly planned in their minds, where I need to do this to this guy. I need to get this to happen. And sometimes magic just happens on simple matches. There are so many I can't even begin to say.
Well, Steve, you will be not front and center, but you will be off to the side in the main event at RWA Dynasty, plus the other matches that you're going to end up calling with not only Manny Souza, but Michael Santana. The three of you will have a lot on your hands on May 3rd. And I tell you what, I am looking forward to that show, and I know that you are as well.
Absolutely.
Coming up next, we will be talking to the ace Mike Montero, speaking of title shots, and he will be talking about the Hype Championship, being the first RWA Grand Slam champion, and what he will have to do to beat Devin Blaze at Dynasty. More RWA Destination Dynasty when we come back. The RWA Oh My God Moment of the Week is brought to you by BlueCotton.com, the official t-shirt supplier of the Renegade Wrestling Alliance. This crowd still split, half cheering for Dunn, half cheering for Montero. Dunn is tuning it up. He's getting ready for that KO elbow. He's measuring Mike Montero. The KO elbow! He knocked out Chris Hero, world champion! 1, 2, oh God! How the hell did he do that? JT Dunn can't believe it! I thought that was a new champion! Between the Rope segment here tonight, the RWA Hype Championship. It is a new title, so to speak, and, well, the holder is somebody that is no stranger to holding a championship. He is the first RWA Grand Slam champion, and he is the ace, Mike Montero. He joins me here today. Mike, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Now, let's talk a year from last Dynasty to this Dynasty. Last year, you were the longest reigning RWA Triple Crown champion. You defeated Jason Devine at Dynasty, only to lose to a challenge that you made to Mike Grassa after your match with Jason Devine. And that loss with the Triple Crown Championship kind of sent you on a different sort of mentality. You formed the stacked deck. You went through the entire summer almost as a disgruntled wrestler, thinking you didn't have a shot anymore for the Triple Crown Championship or any belt. Let's talk about last Dynasty, losing the title, and then why you decided to go on that route with the stacked deck and following, in that cloud of disgruntledness that you had.
One word that can describe it is obsession. And what I can remember from this time last year was I'd been the longest reigning Triple Crown champion. I'd held the championship for 9 months, but the idea in my head was still there that nobody believed that I deserved to be there. And as 9 months have approached, I'm thinking to myself, what more can I possibly do to make these people believe that I deserve this? And I became so consumed with the belt that I didn't even care about the belt's meaning anymore. It was a belt. It wasn't the championship that everybody strives to have. It wasn't what everybody strives to achieve anymore. It was a prop to me. Something that I just needed to have. And I truly believe, and this hasn't changed, I truly believe that I am the king of the RWA. But I believed so much that I was willing to put it on the line against Mike Grassa because I felt that I was unbeatable. And he showed me after 9 months that in 5 minutes I was wrong. And that sent me off a loop because it's like 9 months have gone by, I'm untouchable. But now I just showed the world that in 5 minutes, I am very beatable. And that ate at me so much that it made me think, it made me look to my blood, it made me look to my friends, it made me look to the guy that I broke into this business with, Devin Blaze, and I came to him to help me get back to where I felt that I belonged. And I felt like I couldn't just do it with just him. I needed my teach. I needed Chris Cruz. I needed the man who got me to the dance in the first place. And together, we were unstoppable. We, as a trio, other than Legacy, we did not lose a match together. But that wasn't. But the thing with that was, we got off course. We wanted to hold every championship. We wanted to be the most unstoppable force in the RWA, but instead we were just going out there and killing everybody for the sake of killing everybody. And it wasn't what it was supposed to be anymore. It wasn't trying to be the best. It was just trying to hurt other people. And that's not what the business is about. The business is about striving to be the best, and even when you feel like you can't get back up, getting back up for everyone who's out there to watch you do what you love to do. And now, how does it make me feel to stand in the ring and absolutely massacre somebody with no mercy while everybody looks on? The people that once cheered me, the people that once adored me, look at me and see what a monster I've become. And I guess it took the Iron Man with Pyro to actually realize that when we hit overtime, and I had given him everything I could possibly give him, and he just kept coming back. And I felt like I couldn't even stand anymore. But then overtime hit, and everybody comes out of their chairs and out of respect slaps that mat, and I felt alive again. I felt like I had a new lease on life. I looked around, and you can see if you watch, you can watch on, like, look in my eyes in the camera, the look in my eyes completely changes. I become a different person. I realized what this meant. I realized what it was about. I realized it's about doing everything you possibly can to achieve greatness. And I feel like that's what we accomplished. And when that match was over, I didn't lie when I said that I grew up wanting to be Chris Pyro. I absolutely idolized Chris Pyro. So to be in there with him for 35 minutes and tear the house down, and when it's all said and done, both of us share that common respect, that's what's changed me, and that's what's made me realize what it means, what this championship means, what it means to be in this company. I remember why I came here in the first place, you know?
Mm-hmm. Now, when you won the Hype Championship, you became the first RWA Grand Slam champion. You know, I will say, you want to talk about seeing a change. It was when you, honestly, it was when you super kicked the referee, Michael Santana, that I saw the look in your eye where you realized that that's not the way you want to do things. But let's talk about, you hugged Chris Pyro right at the end of that match. Chris Cruz and Devin Blaze were at ringside telling you not to do it, and that's where it looked like the stacked deck kind of took a turn. You faced both Cruz and Devin Blaze a couple of weeks later for the Hype Championship in a triple threat match, and quite honestly, you took advantage of Devin Blaze's double chop that took down Chris Cruz. I mean, you won the match and you came out and you're holding the Hype Championship, but some of your detractors would say that you didn't win that match. You just found an opportunity and you were able to keep your title thanks to Devin Blaze. In fact, Blaze said that himself.
Okay, I'll get to that, but first I want to bring up the fact that you said that I'm the first RWA Grand Slam champion, and that's something that when I came to this company, I never would have expected to happen. I came here and my goal was to be the best tag team with Devin Blaze that I could be. We were the Suicide Kings. We were great. We won the tag team titles 3 times together. I tried to rekindle that fire and keep it going with Zach Alexander. We won the titles twice as well. But then after that, I started to see, like, I could do more. Like, there's nothing else for me to do as a tag team wrestler. I'm still here. It's been 5 years, and I'm still here. And all I've accomplished is I've become tag team champion. I wanted to be elevated. I wanted to get to the top. So I guess you can say when I wrestled the triple threat with Blaze and Cruz and I took advantage of the situation, it wasn't necessarily to be cheap or underhanded. It's because I've been in probably more title matches than anybody in this company. I know what it takes to win a championship, and I know what it takes to keep a championship. And maybe I knew that if I pinned Chris Cruz, I would get in the ring with Devin Blaze. Maybe I knew that I could possibly settle the score and stop this. What's eating him alive is the fact that when we were younger, I was 17 years old when I won my first Triple Crown championship. I was a baby. I was a young kid. I did something dastardly to one of my friends. I hurt one of my friends to get to the top because I wanted to be there so badly. And I can sit here now and tell you I regret that. But 5 years later, is that really something to hold with you all this time? It wasn't my fault that he got fired. I didn't do that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm here now because I want to go out there with him at Dynasty, and I want him to give me everything he has so that when I beat him, there's no excuses. We did this dance years ago, and we can do it again.
Is this about the title, or is this personal with you two?
No,
Or is the
to
title
me-
secondary?
To me right now, the championship means a lot to me. It does, but he's my oldest friend. I wanted to do this with him. We got into this together. We did everything we could as a team together. Now he believes in his mind that he's better than me, and he's being held down because of me. And I want to step into the ring with him to finally silence those doubts. And I want him to get out there, and I want him to give me everything he has and prove that he deserves to be in that spot. It's not so much about the title, it's to prove who the better man is. After all these years, I've been to the dance, and I've done what it takes to be the top guy, and he hasn't quite gotten there yet. But to beat me in this match will elevate him to that spot. And then people are going to look at Devin Blaze, but to beat me, he has to kill me because I'm unquestionably the king of this company. There's a lot of people who like to say that they're the king of the RWA, but I am the true, undisputed king. And I'm not coming into Dynasty to lose.
Final question. You said that it was going to take a lot to beat you, for Devin Blaze to beat you at Dynasty. What will it take for you to take down Devin Blaze and to beat him without the championship advantage, to get disqualified or counted out? What will it take to beat Devin Blaze 1, 2, 3 in the middle of that ring at RWA Dynasty?
I can't take anything away from his wrestling ability. He is phenomenal in the ring. What he does is absolutely beautiful, but the problem with what he does is he's not all there. He's not playing with a full deck, so to speak. And when it comes down to it, I've known him for so long that I'm going to be waiting for him to capitalize on that mistake. And when I capitalize on his mistake, he's going to realize that even though he's as good as he is, I'm still just that much better.
Mike Montero, you are very determined going into Dynasty. East Providence Recreation Center, 7 o'clock is the bell time on May 3rd. $10 to get in for adults, $5 for kids. Mike Montero taking on Devin Blaze for the RWA Hype Championship. It is not going to be a match that you want to miss, and coming up will be the main event. I will sit down with the highlight, Davey Cash, the Triple Crown champion. That segment is next. Come on back. And welcome back. In the top of the card segment tonight, the Triple Crown Championship. Davey Cash will be taking on longtime tag team partner Chris Pyro in the main event of RWA Dynasty. I am joined by the aforementioned Triple Crown champion, the highlight, Davey Cash. Davey, thank you for sitting down with me here tonight.
What's going on, Rob Masse? How you doing?
Not
Thank
too
you for
bad.
having me.
No problem. Now, before we get into Dynasty, I want to talk about a couple of things that happened in the last couple of months, about a little bit in your past. You joined RWA just about a year ago. At our last show, actually, at Ticker Sports Bar. You've been with RWA for a year, and just about 2 months ago, a picture of you and Triple Licious hit a website on Facebook called Trash Bag Wrestlers. It was, you're coming out in your gimmick, and I'm not gonna really talk about the site. But what got me was the comments that were made on that picture, because people saw who you were, and they remember the spider incident from a couple of years ago. Without getting too much into it, because you've talked plenty about it, is that a stigma that is going to stick with you with your career? Does it bother you that when people see you, that's the first thing that they think of?
What, the spider thing?
Yeah.
I don't think so much no more. I think in Connecticut, more in Connecticut, like I'm not booked as much anymore out there, or I don't get on shows out there for that reason. But I think in wrestling in general, no. There's just a couple idiots out there that like to run their mouth and like
The people on the internet that
talk
basically
about stuff that they have no clue what they're talking about. You know what I'm saying?
And that's how the whole thing really started. It was an accident that turned into internet fodder.
Yeah, I pretty much I did a dive over the top rope. Something happened when he caught me. He caught me like a certain way. When we fell, my hip landed on his face. It shattered the back of his skull. And then people were on the internet saying that I'm afraid to catch people, that when somebody dove, I didn't catch them, and that's why it happened. So, like, they're saying stuff that they really have no clue what happened when I was actually the one diving. So.
And it's not like it hasn't been something that's affected you personally.
No,
I mean,
no.
you live with this every day.
It affected me, I say, the first, like, couple of years after the incident. I couldn't wrestle anywhere. People were calling me a murderer. They were pointing fingers and saying there was other reasons why it happened. But I've wrestled for 10 years before that. I've been in this business since I was pretty much 8 years old. I swept floors. I paid my dues. I did everything like any other person would to get up and come up in the wrestling business. And I feel like that little accident sent me back. And for them couple of years, I couldn't get booked nowhere. I couldn't even go next to a show. So then, yeah, but now, not so much.
Now, what was it like to have the invite to come in RWA a year ago and be here for pretty much an entire calendar year?
Yeah, it was pretty much after Dynasty. I kind of liked what I seen. All these kids were working hard and kind of like busting their ass to get known, and they were wrestling and giving 100% every time they went in the ring. And I want to wrestle people like that. I want to be involved in matches with people that want to wrestle and actually give it their all in the ring, and not just worry about money or the size of a crowd. And so it's more like, yeah, this is the place to be right now.
Now, aside from being a little bit biased towards yourself, with the RWA locker room, do you have a favorite guy you like to see work, guy you like to see go out there and wrestle every show?
I want to watch Mike Montero wrestle every show. Mike Montero, he gets it in.
Just had a huge match with JT Dunn
Yeah, he
at
did
the last
actually.
taping.
He showed everybody he can go, and I don't think there's no doubts in anybody's mind here, or anybody that will watch that match will actually be entertained and see what he can do.
Now, going into Dynasty, you are defending the Triple Crown Championship, which you won at the Thanksgiving Throwdown. The match immediately following your victory, Chris Pyro went bell to bell in the Throwdown match to become the #1 contender. Now, you and Pyro, for those who watch just RWA, you guys, Pyro basically grew up with you. You're talking about people who have paid their dues. Pyro was, around wrestling arenas watching you wrestle, sweeping floors. He was...
Pretty much the same thing.
Right. He was a camera guy, he was a referee. He's seen you grow as a wrestler, and then you guys have been tagging together.
There's a lot more to me and Pyro, man. Like, we were best friends. Our best friends, I say. We don't see eye to eye in RWA. That's one thing that we don't agree on. And I have a different vision for RWA, and he has his own way he wants to go. But it's more than just a match. It's like Pyro's going to be the uncle of my daughter. You know what I'm saying? So it's more than just a match. There's family involved. It's not just about a belt. It's about a lot more, like respect and a friendship. And I think I'm going to beat him. I ain't going to say I'm going to beat him. I'm going to leave there the RWA Triple Crown champion. But it's a lot more than just that belt behind it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to cause any problems like Triple H just likes to point out, but you have been rather timid when it comes to seeing Chris Pyro in the ring. You guys...
Whoa.
I mean, the last match you guys
Watch
were
your
in the tag match, you didn't really get in there to face him a lot. In fact, you tagged out when he came in to start the match.
Well, I don't think I should get in the ring with Pyro then. He wants to wrestle me. He can wrestle me at Dynasty. When he deserved his title shot, he can get in the ring with me then. Until then, he can wait.
All right. Well, I mean, you're saying he can wait, and that's fair. As a champion, you have that right.
Why, you have something to say about that?
No, I mean,
you have a problem with that,
my
Rob Masse?
My only question is you were given a little bit of help in that match at the Thanksgiving Throwdown with Triple H's being there to take down, I believe it was JT Dunn.
Help. I take my opportunities when I can, and I pick my spots. And that was a spot that had to be dealt with. Like, Triple H just picked his spot, and he came in the ring, and he did what he had to do. I didn't ask Triple H to come out there. You didn't see me waving him out, did you? Did you
that's
see me
fair.
calling
I did
him
not.
out? Did you see me stand up and Trips, come and help me? No, none of that, right?
No, but I mean, it has been an ongoing theme that when it looks like you are in a little bit of trouble
The hoods stand
in a
by
match.
each other. The hoods stand by each other.
In my
right?
question,
We're friends. We're friends. You stand by your friends?
Normally,
Would you take a bullet for your friends?
depending on who they are, yeah.
Depending on who they are. See, that's the kind of man you are. You're not that loyal. You know what I'm saying? The hood's loyal.
Well, and then here's my question then. Will Triple H be at ringside? Will he be there to take that bullet for you if needed at Dynasty? Or will you face Chris Pyro truly one-on-one in the main event of one of the biggest shows of the year?
I'll wrestle Chris Pyro one-on-one in the main event at one of the biggest shows of the year. And I have no problem with wrestling Pyro one-on-one. Are you trying to say I'm scared of Pyro?
I'm not saying you're trying to.
Are you like insinuating that I'm tucking my tail kind of like?
No, not at
I'm
all.
I need Triple-licious by my side at every match.
Not at all.
Because
In
that's
fact-
not the case, Rob Masse. Like,
I mean,
because we can get up right now and square up and throw the hands up, and I don't need Triple-licious here, right?
No,
It'd just be me and you, right?
That's very true. And I'm not knocking your talent in the ring, and I've said on numerous occasions that it's your presentation that people don't generally like. In the ring, you are probably one of the best wrestlers that RWA has right now, and you show why you are the Triple Crown champion. My question is that you talk about opportunities, and the Hoods talk about opportunities. And if one presents itself with you and Pyro not seeing eye to eye, I just wanted to make sure that people know that you are going to go in there. You've already said you're going to beat Chris Pyro and that you're going to beat him
Like
on
I said,
your own.
Pyro's more than just a former tag team partner. Pyro's more than just a friend. He's going to be the uncle of my daughter. So it's more than just two friends getting in the ring and wrestling. There's a lot more to it. So whatever happens in the end happens. I'm not going to say that I'm. Yeah, you know what? I'll be straight up for that match. I won't do nothing grimy, I guess you would say, right? Grimy, is that the word you would use?
That's
Or
not the word I would use.
Dirty, is that the word you would use?
Opportune.
Opportunity. We'll go with opportunity.
That's-
Yeah, there won't be I don't think there'll be any opportunities. We know each other pretty good, so he'll know what I'm about to do. I'll know what he's about to do. We'll counter that, and we have to go in there with our heads right and pretty much just try to stay on top of each other, you know? Like, I don't even know how to explain it.
Is this going to be a match because you know each other so well? This going to be a match where whoever makes the first mistake is going to end up losing because you guys have run the road together so long. You know each other's moveset very well. You know each other's style very well. It's going to be the first person who makes a mistake that's going to end up coming on the losing end of this match.
If there is a mistake made throughout the match, who knows? You know what I'm saying? It could be just one of the matches back and forth, and we can fight till the end, and I win. I'll win. As always, we've been here before. We've done this before. We've been at it for other belts. We've been at it numerous times. We've had TLC matches. We've had different types of matches. So I'm not worried about wrestling Chris Pyro.
Okay, well,
did you ask Chris Pyro if he was worried about wrestling me?
I actually did when he was on commentary with me when you were in your last match about 3 weeks ago.
I'm sure he got a little like jittery, you know. You got a little nervous, you know.
Pyro's
seen me do work.
He has. He spoke very highly of your ability, and he said that quite honestly, he was on the other end. He said that he's going to walk away with the Triple Crown Championship.
Yeah, that ain't happening.
Looking past Dynasty, if you walk out victorious like you're saying that you're going to, who would be the next person you think deserves a shot at your title?
Nobody. I'm just going to keep it forever.
So it doesn't matter if it's Divine
It doesn't matter.
or Medeiros
Doesn't matter, no.
or Tommy Trainwreck.
Nobody deserves a shot. They have to earn that shot. It's not deserving it, it's earning it. You got to be the number one contender. You got to make the moves to get there, you know what I'm saying? And until they do, then they deserve the shot. You know what I'm saying? Right now, Pyro's the one that deserves it. And he's the one that's getting the title shot. Nick Marchand, he can cash in at any time, but
Does that worry you?
I don't think he's that stupid. Like, I don't think
He
he's
tried
that stupid.
cashing in on you at one point, and Pyro
Yeah.
actually made the save for you.
But it didn't work, right?
I mean, Marchand didn't cash in. You still hold the title.
So there you go. And I'm not. No, that don't worry me. I got something on my sleeve for Nick Marchand.
Well, I mean, you are very determined going into Dynasty. You've already said that you were going to come out victorious in that match. I know that it's going to be an instant classic. You and Pyro work very well together as tag team partners. You have shown a lot as a preview leading up to this match. And all I'll say is I wish you the best of luck and thank you for sitting down.
Thank you. Have a good one, Rob Masse.
Not a problem. That is going to be Dynasty on May 3rd, Saturday night at the East Providence Recreation Center. The tickets are $10 for adults, $5 for kids. The only way you're going to be able to see RWA live is to come out. See us on our website, rwawrestling.net. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter, The RWA Forever. And join us on our YouTube channel, The RWA Forever. For everybody here at the Renegade Wrestling Alliance from the Chop Shop, I am Rob Masse. We will see you at Dynasty.